Hey guys, Amanda here and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm talking about a very serious topic because this is something that matters a lot to me, and it's something I've been watching as it happens, and it's just breaking my heart. I try to walk away from it, but it always seems to come back to my attention, and every time I come around it, it seems to have gotten worse. So I decided to talk about it for a little while. This is not the kind of video I normally do. I don't like the drama. I don't like talking about other people. I wanted to talk about Eugenia Cooney. If you know who Eugenia Cooney is, then you already know what the problem is. Eugenia Cooney is a YouTuber. She's a very popular YouTuber. She has over 1 million subscribers, and she's a sweet girl. She's a very sweet girl, and she does a lot of blogs and cosplay videos and like makeup tutorials, and I don't know her personally, of course, but she seems to be very open, very optimistic, very smiley, at least from what we get from her videos. She seems to be just a happy, kind person. However, when you look at her, you realize that she has an eating disorder, because she looked a certain way a few years ago. Now she looks completely different. I'm not here to talk about whether her claims that this is the natural way her body is skinny or whatever. A lot of people are talking about whether this is her parents' fault or not. The obvious answer would be yes. But the thing about mental health is that obvious answers aren't always the right answer. I've learned that myself through the process of getting better, and it's very hard. So I'm not here to blame her parents. You can bring all the evidence of how in their videos they actually encourage her, how they enable her, how they tell her she looks good when she is wasting away. But you don't know what's going on their heads. You don't know if they are in a very deep denial. You don't know if they have eating disorders themselves. You don't know if maybe they are very sick people too. And that could be putting a filter to the way they see their daughter. They could just have a heavy filter of denial because they refuse to see that her daughter is damaging herself to this degree. And that happens. A lot of people miss the obvious signs that their loved ones are sick, that they need help. And you can kind of see it. You can see that someone maybe isn't at their best, but that doesn't mean that you know they are at their lowest, because sometimes you refuse to see. So what can you as a viewer do to help Eugenia Cooney? I've seen a lot of people that just, they send her comments, they talk to her directly on like streams, and they tell her that you need to get help, you need to get better, you need to do this, you need to do that. And I don't think that's going to help her. I truly and honestly believe that the only way Eugenia Cooney is going to get help is if she asks for it. Not only because she's an adult, which means that she can't be forced, but because that's how these problems work. You don't want help, you don't get it. It's as easy as that. So why people don't want help? I can only speak for myself. I didn't want help because I didn't think I needed it. I thought I could fix things on my own, and I was going to be alright, and I was going to be fine, and I was fixing myself, but I wasn't. And it took me... I had to be on the verge of death and self-harm and suicidal thoughts to realize that I needed that help. Because when things are really getting to someone, you need to understand that the decision to seek help doesn't come from you, it comes from them. So no matter how much you offer help, or how much support you're given, or how much advice you're given, you may be rejected, and that leads to you feeling powerless and feeling useless. Because in the end, whatever problem they have, It's a problem they have to deal with. It's a problem that they have to fix. Now, people think they can save people, but all you can really do is be supportive of them while they work through their process, because you don't know what's going on inside people. You don't know the pain people are going through. And you can pretend you know, or you can think you know, but every pain is different. Every disease is different. What can you do to help? Well, you can have discussions. You can listen to someone's problems. And this is not just about Eugenia Cooney. This is about anyone who you see that has an issue, that has a problem, that you see is being self-destructive, that is wasting away in front of you. You have to listen to them with an open mind and with an open heart. But I also think that it's very important to set boundaries. And I think this is something that I've learned to do, and that a lot of people should do around Eugenia Cooney, for example. And that is that you are aware that this is a problem and you don't have to be around for it. Because being around people with a problem that are not fixing that problem right now, that can be really harmful for you. And people need to understand that these problems, they don't get fixed with one conversation. Just because you approach Eugenia and tell her, oh, you need help because of this, just that one conversation isn't going to be enough. But at the same time, if you keep pushing, that's not going to help either. In fact, I think it's going to be to make the whole thing even worse. Because I know that's how it was for me. People were telling me, oh, you need therapy, oh, you need help, oh, you can't handle this on your own. And that didn't help, because I hated myself so much, so incredibly much. And every time people told me that I needed help, that maybe I should see a psychologist, that maybe I needed medicine, it only made me feel like, oh, you know what, people really think I'm crazy. People really think I'm so damaged that I can't even fix myself. So I didn't want to look for therapy at that point, because it only made me more and more self-aware that I needed that help, that there was something wrong with me. And that only fed to the idea that I already had in my head that there was something wrong with me. There was a lot wrong with me, and now people were noticing, so I had to hide it better. And going to therapy wasn't going to hide it. So by telling people over and over again that they need help, you may only be feeding to that self-hatred or to that fear, and that is not helpful. So you need to set your boundaries. You need to voice your concern, but at the same time, you need to think about yourself, and you need to recognize that you are not responsible for someone else's well-being. You are not responsible for whatever happens to Eugenia Cooney, because the only person who is responsible for that is her. If she dies, it's on her, it's not on her viewers. We can argue if it's on her parents, but I don't know them, I don't have the evidence, I don't live with her family, so I don't know. But as viewers, you need to understand that it's not going to be on you. It doesn't have to be. It shouldn't be. And you shouldn't feel responsible for that. So what can you do? I'm sorry. So you should evaluate whether you really are the best person to talk to this person about her problems. Don't force an issue on someone, because even if you come from a good place, it can make your friend turn off seeking help altogether. Don't give people ultimatums. Don't force people into treatment, because they are pressure and they promote people keeping secrets and they promote denial. The more people told me I needed help, the more I refused help. I needed to find that help on my own, and people telling me and being worried and making me aware of that worry only made it worse, and I refused to seek help even more. In the case of Eugenia Cooney, I think people should just avoid commenting on her appearance or her weight, because that's what she really wants. People with eating disorders, they are focused on their bodies, like overly focused, obsessed with how they look. Even if they are not fat, they are always concerned with being thin, in the case of Eugenia Cooney, for example. So don't talk about how she looks. Don't enable her by telling her she looks good, and don't make her ignore you by telling her she looks like a skeleton or whatever people are saying to her. Just ask her, how are you feeling? What are you afraid of? What do you think you achieve by looking this way? Are you hurting in any way? If you really want to talk to her about something, you should focus on their feelings, because knowing how people feel really tells a lot about why they do the things they do. Don't blame anyone. Don't go around saying, oh, you need to eat, you need to help yourself, you're hurting yourself, you're destroying yourself. That doesn't help. Putting blame on someone who has any kind of self-esteem issue only reminds them that they are wrong, and that what they are doing to, in their minds, fix that problem is just going to push them forward to the edge. If you have a friend, just talk to them and say, well, this is how I feel. I feel like you're wasting away. I'm scared that you are hurting. I feel sad that you feel sad. Don't make it about them, because in the end you don't know how they feel. This is about you and how you are reacting to their disease, how it's making you feel. And don't give them simple solutions. Don't tell people, oh, all you have to do is be happy. Oh, you have to accept yourself. Oh, you're pretty. Just understand that. Because people can't understand that. Okay, it took me years to understand that the hatred I felt for myself wasn't granted. That I didn't need to put so much pressure on me. That I needed to love myself. But people can tell, oh, you just love yourself. Just be happy. It doesn't work like that. It just doesn't. You are not rationalizing things. If it was rational, it wouldn't be a disease. If you could control it, it wouldn't need someone else to help you through it. All you can do for someone, you can encourage treatment, but you can't do anything for her. You cannot ask her to just eat, because at this point, she's not going to take in any food. She needs a doctor. She needs someone that is going to take her to the doctor and stay with her. She needs positive examples. She needs to be taught how to eat again. She's always bombarded with these critical comments about her appearance, so that's not gonna help her. She needs to be aware of that her self-esteem is not just about how she looks. But in the end, what I want to say is that people shouldn't blame themselves. Even parents are not responsible for the eating disorders of their children. It's no one's fault. It's a disease. It's something that just happened to go wrong with people. Now, it can have any kind of background, and you as a parent may have influenced that background. But I assure you that there are not a lot of parents out there who did things hoping their kids would get an eating disorder. You try and you live and you try to do your best, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't, and you can never be aware of the consequences of what you do when it comes to other people. Other people may be distraught by something you said that you thought wasn't important. I know very well how that is, because I've been destroyed by what people say or what people do. And when I talk to them about it, they are like, oh, well, I didn't think it was such a big deal. I didn't think it would have this consequence on you. Of course it did. It destroyed me. It destroyed the perception I had of myself. But that's not their fault. And it's not my fault. I needed help to work through that. I'm still working through that. And whatever hurt Eugenia Cooney, whether it was bullying at school or her parents, she needs to find her own way to get over it. She needs to find the love for herself. I don't know if she's going to make it. I really hope she does. I really hope she realizes that if she continues down the path she's going to lose everything. She's going to lose her loving fans, she's going to lose her family, she's going to lose her lifestyle. This is not good for anyone, especially not for her. But the only one who can help Eugenia Cooney is Eugenia Cooney. And in the end, I can only hope that, just like I did, she wakes up one day and thinks, I'm going to die. I'm going to kill myself. I need help. And that when she realizes this, she finds a support support group around her that is willing to give her the support she needs to walk through this path of recovery that is long and exhausting, but is worth it in the end. This has been a very long video, I'm so sorry, and thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time, guys. Bye.